Hello and welcome to Knit and Crochet with Joanna. In this tutorial we are going to learn how to crochet this very cute and easy summer shirt. It's really easy to do. I choose the granny square pattern, so only double crochets and chains, and for the collar I used single crochets. I did here a short shirt, but you can make it also longer, or you can make also a nice dress if you like. The size that I did here is small. I did it for my daughter, and the width is about 46 centimeters and the length is about 40 centimeters, but you can do it of course longer. I did nothing here for the armholes, also nothing for the end, but if you want you can make one around with single crochets or also a small rib like here. We start with the collar. I did 5 single crochets, but you can make also more, for example 7 if you like. I started with 5 single crochets. We work in rows until we reach the desired length for our collar, and then we are going to connect both ends together. And we start then to work in rounds. I did a round collar here, but you can do of course shoulder free if you like. Let's see how we start with this really cute and awesome shirt. The yarn that I use today is from Germany. It's made in Italy. The name is Sunrise. 150 grams gives us 415 meters. It has 50% bio cotton, 50% soybean fiber. It suggests hook size number 3.5 till 4.5, and I use hook size number 3.5, but you can use of course any yarn you like. I start with 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I skip the first chain and I insert my hook into the second, and I do here a single crochet. I continue with single crochets in every stitch, and I will have in total 5 single crochets. This is the first one. In the next stitch or chain, the second single crochet. In the next, the third single crochet. In the next one, the 4th single crochet, and in the last one the 5th single crochet. I have in total 5 single crochets. Chain 1, I turn my work and I continue with single crochets, but from now I'm going to work always in the back side from the stitch. Here is my first single crochet from the last row. We see here we have in the stitch 1 thread here in the front side and 1 thread in the back side. We are going to work from now always under the back side thread. So I skip the chain 1 that I just did. I go to the first single crochet. Here is my first stitch from the single crochet. I insert my hook into the stitch and under the thread on the back side. I grab the yarn, I pull through the stitch, and I do a single crochet. I go now to the next stitch. Also here I insert my hook into the stitch, under the thread in the back side. I grab the yarn, pull through the stitch, and I finish my single crochet. I go to the next stitch, insert the hook into the stitch, under the thread in the back side, and I do a single crochet. Same into the next stitch, always under the thread in the back side, and I complete my single crochet. And here is the last stitch. Also here under the thread in the back side, grab the yarn, pull through, and complete the single crochet. Again, chain 1, turn the work. We skip the chain 1 and we go to the first single crochet from our last row. I insert again the hook into the stitch and I work always under the thread on the back side, and I do the first single crochet. Same into the next stitch. This is the second single crochet, always under the thread on the back side. The third single crochet, the fourth single crochet, and the fifth single crochet. Chain 1, turn the work, and again skip the chain 1, we go to the first single crochet. 1 single crochet, the second, third, fourth, and the fifth single crochet, and chain 1. And we do this until we have the desired length for our collar. I did in total here 84 rows with a rib, and this 84 rows gives a length from about 58 centimeters. This is enough for my collar, and I want to start to work now in rounds. I'm going to connect both ends with slip stitches. And of course, we are going to take care that our work doesn't twist now. So, here is one piece and here is the second. I insert my hook now here in the second piece. Here is my stitch and I go under the first thread. I grab the yarn, pull through this thread and through the loop on the hook. Now I take here the first piece and I go to the next stitch. In this first piece I go under the second thread here. This thread is in the back. Here is the thread in the front. We go under the back thread. I take the second piece and here I go under the first thread. I grab the yarn, I pull through both threads, and now the second loop through the first. And we continue now until the end of the row. Under the back thread, under the first thread, and we do here a slip stitch. You can sew this of course also with a needle if you like, but I think this is easier for me. And here the last one. So now I'm going to turn my work, and this is how it looks like. It looks really clear and nice. Now I'm going to crochet one round with single crochets. At first chain 1 and I go here into the first stitch and I make here 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch 1 single crochet. And we continue with the single crochets until the end of the round. You see we have here thicker rows, I will call this, and here thinner rows. So we make in this thick row 1 single crochet. Here is the thinner line, 1 single crochet. The thicker line, 1 single crochet. Thinner line, 1 single crochet. In every stitch 1 single crochet. I'm going to finish this round now, and then I can tell you how many single crochets I have in total. I am at the end of the round. I crocheted here all the single crochets and I finished the round now with a slip stitch into the first stitch, into the first single crochet. I started with this single crochet the round. So the round is now complete. And into the same first stitch I put my marker. So I will do here one sleeve, the front part, the second sleeve and the back part. And this is how I divided my stitches now. I started with 84 rows for the rib. 84 rows gives 84 stitches. The pattern is multiple of 3, so I divide this 84 stitches with 3. And it gives me 28 sets from the pattern. Each set has 3 double crochets into the same stitch, so I have 28 sets. And this is how I divided them now. I need 9 sets for the back part, 9 sets for the front part, and 3 sets for each sleeve, plus 4 sets for the edges. In these edges we will do the increases later. So if you need more sets, of course you can crochet more rows. This depends from the size that you need, from the thickness from your yarn, and also the hook size that you use. But you can try it on you, and you can add more sets if you need for the front, back part, on the sleeves. Let's see how we start our pattern. Here is the begin and the end of every round, and I'm going to start here with the first edge for the sleeve. That means I start here with the edge, then I do 3 times the pattern and the second edge. At first I do chain 3, and I count these 3 chains as my first double crochet. I take my marker off and I do 2 more double crochets into the same stitch where I did the 3 chains. So 1 and 2. With the 3 chains I have in total now 3 double crochets into the same stitch. Now chain 2 and another 3 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2 and 3, and chain 1. The first edge is complete. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same stitch. Now I did my chain 1 here, and I'm going to do 3 times the pattern. For this I'm going to skip 1 stitch, the second stitch, and into the third stitch 3 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1. The first set is complete. Again, skip the next 2 stitches. In the third one, 3 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. The second set is complete. Skip the next 2 stitches. In the third stitch, 3 double crochets. The first, the second and the third, and chain 1. The 3 sets with 3 double crochets are completed. Now I'm going to crochet the second edge. I skip the next 2 stitches, and in the third one 3 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, I put again the marker away, the second double crochet in the same stitch, and the third one. Now chain 2 and into the same stitch another 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So we have here edge, 3 times the pattern, edge. Here's the first edge, 3 times the pattern, and the second edge. And now I continue with 9 times the pattern. So chain 1, I skip the next 2 stitches, into the third one 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. The first set is complete. Again, Skip the next 2 stitches. In the third one, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. This is the second set. I'm going to make in total 9 sets with double crochets, and then we'll make together the next edge. I completed 9 sets with double crochet, and now I'm going to make the next edge. So after the edge I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sets with 3 double crochets. I did my chain 1 here. I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches, and in the third one where my marker is, I do the next edge. So 3 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 and another 3 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. So what I created here now is the first sleeve. I have the edge here, 3 times the pattern, and the next edge. In between from the pattern I have 3 times the pattern. Then 9 sets with the pattern and the next edge. In between of the edges I have 9 sets with a pattern, and we don't forget always chain 1 in between from the double crochets. I continue now with the second sleeve. Again 3 times the pattern. So I skip the next 2 stitches. In the third one, 3 double crochets, chain 1. This is the first set. I skip the next 2 stitches. In the third one, 3 double crochets and chain 1. This will be the second set. Again, skip 2 stitches in the third one, 3 double crochets, chain 1. This will be the third set. Then chain 1, I skip 2 stitches, and here where the marker is, I do the next edge. And we continue with chain 1 and 9 sets with double crochets for the back part. I'm going to finish this now, and then I show you the next step. I am at the end of the round. I did all the sets with the double crochets, and I finished the round now with a slip stitch. I did my chain 1 here, and I insert my hook now into the third chain. We started this round with chain 3. We are going to insert now the hook into the third chain, and we finish the round with a slip stitch. I'm going to start now the next round, and I do this here in the space from the edge. So at first 1 slip stitch into the next stitch, one slip stitch into the next stitch, and a slip stitch into the space between the double crochets. And this is how we start every round now, always here into the space between the double crochets until we reach the point where we create our armholes. So we start again with the edge here, with the shell. At first chain 3, we count the 3 chains as a double crochet, and 2 more double crochets into the space. Now chain 2 and another 3 double crochets into the same space. 1, 2, 3. So our edges looks like small shells. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into the same space. We continue with chain 1, and now 3 double crochets into the spaces. We skip the double crochets and we work from now always into the spaces between the double crochets. So 3 double crochet into the first space, 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. I go to the next space, also here 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and chain 1. I go to the next space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Also into the next space, 3 double crochets, chain 1. And here is the next edge. Into the space between the double crochets, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets into the same space. 1, 2, 3. And this is how it looks like. In the last round we had between the edges 3 sets with double crochets. In this round now we have between the edges 1, 2, 3, 4 sets with double crochets. Here we did our increase. Now again chain 1 and we continue the pattern. Into the spaces 3 double crochet. I insert my hook into the first space and I do 3 double crochets, and chain 1. Into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next space, chain 1, into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, also into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next space, chain 1, into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next space, chain 1, into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and also into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1. And here is the next edge, the next corner. Into the space between the double crochets 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Here we make chain 2 and another 3 double crochets into the same space. And chain 1. So we have here now between the edges 10 times the pattern, 10 sets. In the last round we had 9, in this round we have now 10. We did again the increase. We continue with 3 double crochets in every space, in between of them always chain 1 until we reach here the next corner, the next edge. In the space between the double crochets 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, then again chain 1, and we continue with 3 double crochets in every space and chain 1. We do this until the end of the round. I'm going to complete this now, and then we start the next round again together, and you will see this is so easy to make this sweater. I am at the end of the round. I did all the sets with double crochets, chain 1, and I finished the round again with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain. I started with this 3 chains the round. I count now 1, 2, and I insert my hook into the third chain and I make 1 slip stitch. The round is complete. We start the next round same as we did it with this round. So slip stitches until we reach here, the space between the double crochets. Into the next stitch 1 slip stitch, into the next stitch a slip stitch, and also into the space a slip stitch. And we start here now the next round. We do this round same as we did this last round. So chain 3, and we count this as the first double crochet, and another 2 double crochets into the space. Chain 2, and another 3 double crochets into the same space. Chain 1. We completed just here the first edge. Continue normal with the pattern. In every space 3 double crochets and chain 1. I insert my hook into this first space and I make 1 double crochet, a second double crochet, and a third double crochet. Chain 1. 3 double crochets into the next space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next space, chain 1, into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and also into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and here is the second edge. Into the space between the double crochets 3 double crochets, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets into the same space. And we don't forget the chain 1. So we did also here in this round an increase. Between the double crochets we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets with double crochets. Continue normal with the pattern. In every space 3 double crochets and chain 1. In every edge 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into the same space. We repeat this until the end of the round. We finish the round with a slip stitch into the third chain and we start the next round. Slip stitches until here where the space is, and again chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we continue with the pattern. We repeat only this one round until we reach the point where we create our armholes. I'm going to complete this now. I don't know how many rounds I will need. I make this, I finish this round, and then I show you the next step. My top is growing up. I reached here now the armpits, and I did in total for me 12 rounds with a pattern. Now I'm going to create the first armhole, and this is very easy to do. Here is the end of the round. This is the longer part, so this will be my front part from the sweater or the top. Here is the end of the round. I finish the round again with a slip stitch. I did in the next 2 stitches a slip stitch, and also in the space between the double crochets a slip stitch. From now we don't make more increases, we start to crochet only the pattern. At first chain 3, and we count these 3 chains as the first double crochet. Into the space another 2 double crochets. With the 3 chains, we have in total now 3 double crochets into the same space. Now chain 3, and I go to the next edge, to the next corner. This is the shorter part, so this is my sleeve. I create here the first armhole. Here is my next edge. Into the space between the double crochets, now 3 double crochets into the same space. And chain 1. And we just create the first armhole. Continue now normal with the pattern. In the next space, 3 double crochets. And chain 1. Also into the next space, 3 double crochets. And chain 1, and we continue to crochet in every space 3 double crochets and chain 1 until we reach here the next corner, and here we are going to create together the second armhole. I reached here the third edge. I did in the last hole 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we create now the second armhole. Into the space between the double crochets, at first 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now chain 3, and I go to the next edge, to the next corner. Here, into the space between the double crochets, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and chain 1, and we just created here the second armhole. Continue now normal with the pattern. In this space 3 double crochets, chain 1, into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we continue with 3 double crochets in every space and chain 1 until the end of the round. I am at the end of the round. I did in the last space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and I finished the round again with a slip stitch. I started the round with 3 chains, so I insert my hook into the third chain and I do here a slip stitch, and the round is complete. I'm going to start the next round now here into this second chain. Here on the right side are 3 double crochets, then I did chain 3 and 3 double crochets here in the next corner. This is how we create the armhole. So what I do is now into the next stitch is slip stitch, also into the next stitch is slip stitch, in the first chain is slip stitch, and in the second chain also is slip stitch. And I'm going to start now the next round. Chain 3, we count this again as a double crochet, and into the same chain 2 more double crochets. 1 and 2, and chain 1. With the 3 chains we have now in total 3 double crochets into the same chain. We continue normal with our pattern, so we skip the double crochets and into the next space 3 double crochets, and chain 1. Into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1. Into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we continue now normal with our pattern until we reach here the next armhole. I reached the second armhole. I did in the last space 3 double crochets, chain 1. Between the double crochets I have the chain 3 that I did for the armhole, and I do the same now what I did also in the first armhole. I continue in the second chain. So I skip the double crochets, I skip also the first chain, and I insert my hook now into the second chain, and I do here in the second chain 3 double crochets into the same chain. 1, 2, and the third double crochet, and chain 1. Now continue normal with the pattern. We skip the double crochets and we work always into the spaces. So into the next space 3 double crochets, and chain 1. Into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1. Into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we continue now until the end of the round. I am at the end of the round. I did into the last space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and I finished the round again with a slip stitch into the third chain. I insert my hook into the third chain and I do here a slip stitch, and the round is complete. From now we are going to start every round into the space. So the next what I do is also into the next stitch 1 slip stitch, into the next stitch 1 slip stitch, and into the space 1 slip stitch. Now I can start the next round here into the space, and I do this until I reached the length that I need for my sweater. So chain 3, we count this again as a double crochet and another 2 double crochets into the same space, and chain 1. We have now here 3 double crochets, chain 1. Continue normal with the pattern. Into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1. Into the next space 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we continue again until the end of the round. In the last space we do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we finish the round again with a slip stitch into the third chain. We start the next round, and every round always into the spaces. So a slip stitch into the next space, also into the next space a slip stitch, and into the space a slip stitch. Then we start the next round with chain 3, we count this as a double crochet, and 2 more double crochets into the space, chain 1, and we continue normal with the pattern. Repeat this until you reach the length that you need. I reached the desired length for my shirt, and my shirt is now also completed. I don't want to make here something else. The last round is the round with a granny square. But if you like, you can make a small rib, same as we did it here, or also a round with single crochets. The same you can do also here in the armholes. But I like it as it looks like now. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I say again, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, thank you.